What's up? Welcome to the next video, and today we're going to be parting this thing out. So pretty much what I did to start off, since we will be removing the injectors, is right over there in that corner, you got to remove the battery cover fascia. There is a fuse box, specifically this one right here, and one of the fuses in there is for the fuel pump. Pulled that out so we can empty the fuel lines, just start the car. It'll sputter for a few seconds. Mine lasted about 30 because I just drove it in, and then it'll die off. Pretty much that's the easiest way to reduce the fuel pressure in your lines. I'm going to go ahead and take the bumper off because we need to get the intakes out from behind the grill. So I like to start from the bottom and work my way up. So you have 10mm bolts along the bottom edge of the bumper. Go ahead and remove all of those. And I just removed the wheels to make it easier, since I'm also going to rotate the tires. What you're going to do next is pry this little clip out and then peel the wheel well back. You might have to use a little bit of force. And then right over there is the 10mm bolt that holds the corner. Go ahead and remove that and do that on both sides. What you're going to do next is pop off all the little clips that are over here on the front of the bumper. And then right over here on the weather strip, just peel it back. Right back there, there is a small 10mm that holds this metal bracket. You're going to remove that on both sides. Now time for the most difficult part, actually removing the bumper. What I've found to be easiest is to just snap off the clips on either side, just like that. Also, use some force, you won't break it. You shouldn't break it. Just pop off all the clips all around here. There's one right there. Same thing on the other side. You typically want two people so you can help finagle it out straight. I'm just going to use that little snap-on seat since I've done it so many times. And then if you do have the fog lights, just remember you got to unplug those. Like I said, it's actually really easy when you know exactly what to do. Like that probably took me all of 30 seconds. Bumper's off, put it aside, and I'm going to start undoing the filters and all the intake piping. 3-inch intakes are off. They're probably sold by the time this video goes up. So now I'm going to do the injectors. What I like to do is pop off each throttle body, just lean them to each side, and then go ahead and remove all the lines. I think there's 4, 2 on the back, and then there's a few brackets that hook up to the manifold. You got your 6 bolts. That comes off. Injectors are right under there. Upper manifold is off. I just like putting rags in the runners so nothing falls in when I'm working on it. So now I'm going to work on removing the fuel rails to get the injectors. It's pretty simple. It's 4 bolts, 2 on each side. And then you also have the fuel line connector. It's 2 small bolts. You might need a little bit of force to pop it out, and you kind of have to bend it out. And then the hard part is trying to get this connector off back here so you can take the whole thing out as one piece and then work on a table removing each injector. I got the fuel rails out. Like I said, you gotta like bend this out of the way to remove it. That's the connector that I was talking about that you kind of have to finagle out. Some fuel might leak out depending if there was pressure in your lines or not. And then over here, I have the actual fuel rail. All you gotta do to remove the injectors is take out the connector, then pop this little clip out and just yank it out. Simple and easy. Alright, so I forgot to record because I've just been working on it, but pretty much for the removal of the fuel pump, what you're going to do to start off is there's this cover on there. You just turn these little clips right here, turn them, unlocks from here, pull that cover out. There's 4 in each corner. Once you take this cover off, you're going to disconnect the connector and this fuel line. You push these little 2 tabs in, pull the fuel line out. Be careful because fuel will come out even if you depressurize the system. That's just the way it is. And then you're going to have this retaining ring holding the fuel pump housing down. There's 6 screws all around. There's these little tiny ones, so don't lose them because they're the perfect length so they don't puncture the gas tank. This will pop up. Now the hard part is actually removing the fuel basket. As you can hear, it snags. The springs on either side will snag on the edge of the tank. Just slowly work it out. There's going to be the floater arm. Just you have to angle that out when you pull it out. And also there is going to be a feed line similar to this disconnect on this corner of the basket. As you guys see, I have rags all over here because there will be fuel in the basket, so I just don't want it getting all over the interior of the car. So once you pull out the fuel basket, all this will be together. I'll explain as best as I can. This little fuel temp sensor comes out of this holder right here. Just pull it out, try not to break the plastic. And then the level sensor, all you're gonna do is, it's sitting right over here on this T. There's this little lock you gotta push in, and that'll slide from under this part. Whole thing comes out. Then for the cables, take a picture so you know where they go. And those will disconnect from those little contacts right over here. This little retainer is gonna be at the bottom of the rod, sitting like that. You're gonna snap it off, and then you're gonna pick up the entire top hat with the bottom, and then make sure you place the spring and the retainer in a safe place, and it should come out like this. You don't have to do this, but it does make it easier, is remove the Venturi pump. So this part sits inside of here, and you just snap it out, and this little bottom piece sits inside of this tube. Your fuel pump might or might not just slide back and forth, depends if you had the little retainer ring. Since this is a 340 LPH, it's slightly bigger than the OEM pump. You have to snap out the retainer clip, and I didn't put that like sleeve that holds it in place, which is fine. There's your fuel strainer. A lot of people think that this is the filter. No, this is just a strainer. The filter is actually in the housing right here. So what you're gonna do to remove the fuel pump is, depending on if you got a new line or not, or what you're gonna do, is this little worm screw right there. Take that off. I believe OEM doesn't have it. And then what you're gonna do is just take a small razor blade, slit the hose so it's easier to take out, just pop both out. And then also these connectors will also be on the top hat. As you can see, these are modified for the new fuel pump, or the technically old fuel pump, but when I did it, it was new. So that's pretty much all you need to know about the fuel pump. It should be intuitive from there. You get the new pump or new pump, put it in, you reconnect the lines the way it was, make sure your strainer's on there, and then after that, put everything back together. There's tons of diagrams online in case you forgot how to do it. This is still a part. I'm actually gonna do valve cover gaskets. It's currently like 10:40 p.m. and there's a pair in an AutoZone in Manassas, and that closes at midnight. So I'm gonna try to get over there before they close. It's about an hour drive, so as long as I get there before they close, I'll finish this tonight. Gonna be new valve cover gaskets, and then putting everything back together.